Welcome surfers, it is Joel and this is the third lesson of coding sound. In the last video we proved our environment or toolchain by opening an empty window. But to build a VST or an audio unit we need to change many parts of our architecture, because a plugin is not an app. A plugin runs inside an host, like Ableton, Fruit Loop Studio, etc. And to create a plugin with GUIs, we need to use the audio processor class, which rely on a very specific lifecycle composed of three main steps. The step one is prepare to play. The step two is the process block, where the audio is calculated, and the step 3 is release resources. Now, let's implement all these changes in our source code. The first thing to do is to open the CMake list file and do some changes. In this case, we need to delete the application, because now we don't need an application. We need something different, a plugin. And we can replace it with a Juice plugin. So, and also the target sources are different, because in the next step we delete our old main file and we use 4 other sources. 2 for the plugin processor, the source file and the header, and 2 for the plugin editor, the plugin editor C++ file and the plugin editor header file. Perfect. Next step. Now we can delete our old main file, and we can add the 4 new source files listed in the CMake list. Perfect. We can start with the plugin processor, the header of the plugin processor. In this case we need to include the Juice header, like for the old main file. But now we need another kind of class, an audio processor class. And this class must have a constructor and a destructor. This is the constructor. And this is the destructor. And the 3 main steps we already mentioned of the audio processing are: the first one, the preparation, prepare to play. The second one, the resource releases. And the third one, the process block. Okay. And now we need another bunch of methods useful to do all the housekeeping work. So with this method we create the audio processor editor, and we accept and produce MIDI, etc. The next group of methods are useful to manage the state of the synth, so the presets. Perfect. Now the usual private macro to manage and catch memory leaks. Perfect. Now we can write the implementation of the plugin processor. So include our plugin processor H and the plugin editor H. This is the constructor. Okay. Now we have boilerplate metadata. Is a group of various variables that is useful to manage the audio processing. Perfect. Finally, we need to create the editor. The editor in use is the graphical user interface. And to make this, we must create the plugin editor header and the plugin editor source file. Perfect, now more or less all the code looking pretty good, so we can try to build and run our application. Let's see, we have some errors. The names are correct. Let's investigate this problem. Okay, now the compilation is completed, the building is completed, and now we have our window, but in this window there isn't the text reported here. Let's take a look to this problem. And finally we have our window. I think that some weird bug of Visual Studio 2026 has happened, because I simply reboot the entire IDE. I don't find any relevant error or any relevant mistake in the code, but now the same code works. And this is a very good news. So now we have our plugin. This plugin can be run in a standalone mode, as you can see now, and can also run inside an host. For example, if I open my Fruit Loop Studio, I can import coding sound synth in my music production environment. But for now, we don't have any sound. So in the next lesson, we starting to write something to read notes from MIDI, and in the future to emit our first sound or first sine wave. See you there. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button and to keep your thinking cap on.